I am so excited to say hello to our next guest joining us in studio. Let's not waste any more time. He is the indie god. He's the deathmatch king. He's the internet champion. He's the complete. He's the agent. Is he there? Oh, my God. Matt Cardona. What's happening?
How are you? What's going on,
Great
man?
to meet you.
Great to see you. What's going on? All right, look at this.
Welcome to the main event.
I'm here. I'm the main event. Wow.
You are.
Oh, look, I can see myself right
look
here.
At you.
I look
yes.
good.
Look, you do look
Yeah,
fantastic, by the way.
This is a great studio. I love it.
Take it all in.
I'm taking it in. I see you got a lot of figures.
Yeah.
Can I start with the cheap plug?
Yes.
I got a little gift for you.
Oh my God! Right off the bat.
Right off the little cheap
Look
plug.
at
Right off
you.
the bat. You know, I have my own toy company,
Yes.
Major.
Major Bendy's.
Major is the company we make Major Bendy's, big rubber guys. I have
Yes.
a gift for you, a big rubber guy.
Oh my God! The
Check this out.
American Dream. Holy
Dusty Roads.
This is
You
incredible.
could open it up. You could let him breathe.
Can I open it up?
It's resealable packaging, so do what you want. Yeah, look at that.
Resealable.
Resealable.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing now?
Did you create that?
Well, we didn't. We stole it from somebody. We borrowed it.
Who?
Well, there's other company. Hey,
Okay.
but by the way, this is the first one ever. No one has this except for you.
You're
Well,
kidding.
I have it. You know,
This
my
is
partners have it, but you're number one.
Yo, can I tell you the emotions that are going through my body right
Really?
now for multiple reasons?
Okay.
First of all, this is fantastic, and you also even have.
You gotta smell it. You gotta smell it.
Wow. Yo. No, seriously. Yo, you even have the birthmark.
That's right.
Yo, this is unbelievable.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Check it out.
Can I tell you something, Matt? You know why I'm so excited for multiple reasons to
Okay.
speak to you? This is from the heart. I used to be an avid LJN collector.
I never grew out of it.
I know, and we will talk about that. I had legit maybe 50, 60.
Yeah.
And I had the ring and everything.
Sure.
I grew up in Montreal.
Yep.
Bret Hart right there was my favorite.
there he is.
He was my guy. And when we moved houses, the only thing my mom has ever given away were my LJNs.
Oh.
She gave them away.
Oh my God,
And-
Mom, what are you doing?
And I played with them so much. You will know this. They would get the marks on
Sure,
them
all
and stuff.
scuffed up.
And the paint would come off.
Yes.
And so I don't know if I've touched this. This feels like LJN.
It feels right, just
Yes.
like it. And that we call the big rubber guys because everyone called them. Oh, I had those big rubber guys back in the '80s.
Oh.
So
I feel like I'm 8 years old right
that's
now.
what it's all. I have goosebumps right now hearing that story.
No, seriously.
It's the nostalgia. We can't go back in
This
time.
means so much to
Oh,
me.
thank you. No, hey,
Putting this
thank
right
you.
here.
Oh, look at that front and center,
Look
baby.
at Dusty. Wow.
But you know, we can't go in a DeLorean and go back in time.
Yes.
So with the toys, it's like you just felt it, right? I mean, you feel
Literally.
like you're a kid again. Those happy times, whether you're a fan or you know whatever toy you're playing with. In our case, it's wrestling toys. But I just never grew out of it. And I just want to spread that to everybody. So I'm glad you're the first one to have it. I'm glad you liked it.
This is your room, by the way. Right
Oh,
here.
there it is.
Courtesy
Look at
of
that.
Yahoo Lifestyle a few years back.
Yes.
Is it the same room or have you moved?
I am moving right now, getting a bigger toy room.
Look at you.
Because right now I have that room that I've outgrew.
Okay.
My garage is a storage unit. And I have a storage unit that's a storage unit. So
All with toys.
all with toys. It's bad.
Not just wrestling, though.
Not just mostly wrestling, but there's all stuff from my childhood, 80s, 90s, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Turtles, stuff I grew up on, you know, stuff I
What
love.
percentage is wrestling?
I'd say 70% wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have LJNs there.
Oh, have LJ. Oh, yeah, baby.
They don't produce them, though, right?
They don't anymore, no. So that's why.
Why did they stop?
They stopped. They lost the license in the 80s. Then they made the little Hasbro guys. Remember the ones in the 90s?
Didn't like them.
You didn't like those?
I didn't like. No, LJN is.
Well,
is-
LJN's number one. for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
But, you know, I
How would
grew
you
up-
rank them? LJN. There's Hasbro. There's Mattel.
The current Mattels are the best of all time.
Really?
But I have no nostalgia towards those. I still collect them. You know, I see you got a Natty behind you.
Yeah. So Natty actually signed that.
Yeah.
So these are like a lot thinner and they move and
Yeah, they have
stuff.
the articulation.
Right,
and now
right.
There's like the interchangeable hands and heads, and it's great. But I want the big rubber guy.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
you
yes.
just bang them together. You know what I'm saying? It's too complicated now.
So with this, is this the same exact like designer supplier that or like?
No, we got it as
manufacturer?
close as possible. We tried our best, so it's as close as
Who
possible.
makes it? Like who made this?
We did.
No, like who's the actual? Where is this being produced?
So we have a whole team of people. It's I say whole team. There's like 5 or 6 of us.
Wow.
You know, we come up with the concepts. We go and sign the talent. Right. We have a designer. Then we have a 3D designer, and then we send it to China. We get the prototype. We critique it, and we have a figure in like 6 to 8 months.
Unbelievable.
So,
When
yeah.
did you start this?
We started about 4 years ago. We started with these little bendy guys, and then we had the big rubber guys. So we're trying to, hey, I think we need some MMA big rubber guys.
Yes,
What do you think?
yes.
I-
Does any you know there was a company? Have you heard of So I love all this.
Yes,
shit. You see this
yes, for sure.
There's a company called Round 5. These guys.
Oh, those are great. Yeah.
Shale.
Yeah.
Round 5 was like the first.
Those are cool.
Here, touch it.
Yeah.
And they stopped. Like in 2012, 2013, they stopped.
Hmm.
And there's no one really making great MMA toys.
Well, I mean, ours will be in like poses, no articulation, but I think we can do it.
You don't like articulation?
No, I do, but I like the big rubber.
You like the nostalgia.
So much
yes.
articulation going on. Like now with Mattel, there's all these different points.
Too much.
There's too much in my opinion.
Right.
Even for a kid, it's complicated.
Yes.
How many interchangeable hands do you need for a kid? You know?
So what do you think?
I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. So what do you think? Have you looked into MMA?
We would certainly do it. Right now, our wrestling is our forte. Well, we should do it. We should do it.
Wow.
I'll give you a little cut.
How does this work? Like, how doesn't Dusty or his family have a Legends deal?
So we went through the family. We went through the Dusty Foundation.
Right.
So it's all official. No bootleg stuff.
Yeah, of
here.
course.
So anyone who doesn't have a Legends deal, anyone who doesn't work for WWE or AEW, we can make. So up and coming indie guys or girls, Legends who don't have a WWE deal, we try to make everybody. But we're expanding. We got some big things planned for 2025, like I'm just gonna say 80s action stars, stuff like that, some movies and stuff like that. But we love MMA. We would love anything really. Wrestling is just our bread and butter.
Sure. I saw the site. We have a sort of like a screen record of the site, and I was surprised at some of the names. We're going to show it here in a second. I was surprised at some of the names that were on there. Like,
look at that.
Okay, so like you have like Arn Anderson, Rick Martel. He doesn't have a Legends deal.
Rick Martel hasn't had a figure in over a decade.
Wow, look at this. Look at some of these.
Missy Hyatt hasn't had a figure ever in 40 years in the business. Never had a figure.
Wow.
So we get to do that for them, and then selfishly for us, I want a Missy Hyatt figure. I want a new Rick Martel.
Yeah.
And then they never made Arn Anderson back in the day for the LJN. So to make guys like that, and then of course we'll redo guys. We'll make a cooler Macho Man or something like that. So
Rick Martel, can he be the model?
He's the model right now.
Even though it's a WWE gimmick?
Well, we'll just call him Rick Martel.
Does he have the arrogance?
He has the arrogance.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
He has the sweater, removable sweater.
Yes.
The arrogance. Oh yeah.
How many guys do you have signed, guys and gals?
Ooh, I'd say we probably made close to 100 so far. And they're not like forever deals.
Sure.
And they're not exclusive either. Go make your money somewhere else too. We're not tying you down.
Right.
We just want to make you some extra money. Because I'm a wrestler at heart too. I wouldn't sign an exclusive deal.
Yeah.
But so sign with us and then go sign a Legends deal too. And make double the money.
and where can I buy this?
Collectmajor.com. This is an exclusive. This will be a WrestleCon exclusive Royal Rumble weekend. Only 800 made, so now 799.
Wow, what an honor! Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Can you go to like Target or Kmart?
That's the goal. That's the dream. I don't think we'll ever get in there with the wrestling because there's already Mattel with the WWE, Jazzers with the AEW. But that's why we want to do maybe the MMA, maybe, like I said, the 80s, 90s, movie lines, like, you ever go to Target or Walmart, they have like the adult section of the toys?
Yes.
I think we could sneak in there with stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Are you more passionate about this than actual wrestling?
No, wrestling's my number one.
Okay.
I mean, this is a great side hustle.
Yeah.
Right? I'm very passionate about it, but I mean, wrestling, it's my number one.
Obviously, we know that you've been into this stuff for a long time, but where does the idea come to actually make a business out of it?
So we started, myself and Brian Myers, we started the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast while we were in WWE.
It's a great listen.
Yeah,
I enjoy it very much. I love this shit. Honestly, I really do.
Thank you so much. And then one of the guys, Mike Kinnick, he was a fan of ours, and he was making like our pins or our foam fingers. So I think I can make you guys toys. I said, bro, if you can figure out how to talk to China and make this work, we'll cut you in. And lo and behold, he did. We have a great team of people who help us out, who design it, 3D sculpting. We have this guy, Dylan. He's like, oh, well, Dusty didn't wear that color boots in that match. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
and then Ryan, our designer, Brian Beatty, our sculptor. It's just incredible stuff.
Can you live off of this? Is it that successful or not quite yet?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
That's the goal, but I'm not done lacing up the boots yet.
No. I'm not trying to retire you. In fact, you have a massive match coming up next Sunday.
Yes, Hammerstein Ballroom, baby, New York City.
Yo, you dropped an amazing promo
yesterday
on Twitter.
I appreciate it.
I retweeted it. I'm playing it. We're going to play it in a moment. We can't play the sound.
It's a little too long.
No, but also the music, we're going to get demonetized.
Yeah, we don't want demonetization.
By the way, I saw you do the breakdown of WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
How do you get away with using all that footage?
I don't know.
Okay, we won't bring it up. No, I just because we always get demonetized here. Anyway, this is tremendous stuff. This is you like walking up to some? It's just amazing. Go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I retweeted it.
Thank you so much.
Do you shoot this all on your own?
So I had some people who helped me out.
But my thing is like you're so indie minded, like dating back to your time in WWE with the YouTube show. Are you making your own promos or is GCW?
This is all me, all funded by me. Yeah, I have people who help me out. Obviously, I didn't edit that. I didn't film that.
Of course.
Dom,
but GCW isn't paying.
They are not.
Wow.
No, they're not. But that's okay, because I want to invest in myself. If I don't invest in myself, no one else is going to. If I don't treat this Hammerstein Ballroom show like it's the biggest show of my career, then it's not. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do everything I can to promote it. And all that, like, That was my life story. It wasn't a storyline.
Right.
You know, I grew up backyard wrestling. I went to Nassau Coliseum as a fan. I got to wrestle there. I went to Madison Square Garden as a fan. I got to wrestle there. You know, those buildings were amazing. But Hammerstein Ballroom, when we went there for GCW a few years ago, that's where I truly realized, like, Zack Ryder needed to die for Matt Cardona to live. And now we're coming back there. Man, our backs are against the wall, and we're going to prove everybody wrong. But I don't care about proving people wrong. I want to prove
yourself.
That's right. Prove myself right. Prove our fans right. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I don't want to, you know, be fueled by negativity in any way.
So I believe you to a degree, but can I push back a little bit?
Please do.
Here you are. You're killing it on the indie scene. You're the indie god. You're the deathmatch king. All that stuff. It's almost 5 years now since you left WWE. Mm-hmm. You're better than a lot of these guys that I see on TV, man, and you're more over than a lot of these guys. I have a hard time believing that as passionate as you are about the business, Rick, do you want to do something? Yeah. You're going to fix his mic?
Uh-oh, sorry.
What's happening? Higher up. Okay, they want to hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Is that better? Rick, you good?
Do I need to get closer?
You look like he was leaning down. We wanted to get him.
Oh, make you comfortable.
Okay.
As passionate as you are about this business, you don't sit at home and be like, that should be me.
Let me put it this way. Like, I don't care how you define success. I've said this before. Money, accolades, happiness. I am the most successful I've ever been in my career right now. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want another WrestleMania moment, or to wrestle at Madison Square Garden, or to be on SmackDown with my wife. Of course I do. You know, I don't think I've deserved anything. I hate the word deserved. I think I've earned the opportunity to go back. And I don't feel like it's being cocky to say that if my music hit the Royal Rumble, whether it be Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona, the place would explode.
Yes.
The roof would go off the place. Social media would explode. I'd move merch. Like, I know that. I haven't been offered anything.
So why doesn't it happen? Why haven't you been offered? Do you have any inclination?
I do not know. There's been communication, very cordial, but there's been no offer, and that's fine. I can't, you know, live my life like, oh my God, are they going to call me back? But if they do, it's a catchphrase, but it's the way I live my life. I'm always ready. I've worked my ass off for 5 years to reinvent myself. I truly believe that I have. I truly believe I changed the game. I would love to go back if the circumstances were correct.
Do you think it's personal?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so one bit.
Because, you know, I know that there's politics and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So do you think there's someone back there who's blocking you from
I don't think so.
back?
I think it's all timing, right? You know, you got right place, right time. And that's why I am always ready. You know, it started as like, oh yeah, I'll put that on my trunks because, you know, because at the time in WWE, you know, I get thrown a bone every once in a while, but I couldn't just sit on the sidelines. And then if they want to use me, if I'm out of shape, or if I don't look at $1 million, that's on me, right? So that's where I came with this always ready thing. Like, no matter what opportunity comes my way, you got to be always ready. And it happened before in WWE, like the Intercontinental title match, like we just talked about, WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to be in that match, you know? And then one day, I just happened to have a kick-ass match before Raw started on one of those shows that they syndicate. Looked like $1 million. Vince McMahon was watching and said, why aren't we doing something with that guy? A few weeks later, I'm in the WrestleMania match. I end up winning. You know what I'm saying? So this business is all about timing and being ready when that opportunity presents itself.
So I want great things for my career, for my show, for my broadcasting career, right? My wife doesn't work in this world. So when I go home frustrated, you know, she consoles me and then we talk about something else. Your wife is in this world and she's in the place you would like to be one day, and she's thriving.
First ever women's United States champion.
One of our own, one of Canada's own.
That's right.
Yes, very proud of her.
We're going to visit in a couple weeks.
Ontario?
Victoria.
Victoria, BC.
Yes, that's right.
There she is. The U.S. champ.
Very beautiful. Look at that
Chelsea
shirt.
Green. That's tremendous.
I wonder who designed that for her.
Do you design her merch? Well done. And that's a beautiful tweet from there, from her right there. I've waited 10 years for this graphic. Very, very happy for her. And she has defied the odds too, because she was let go and then came back and all that stuff.
Yes.
How do you separate that? That's your wife. You're over the moon, but you'd like to be there with her too.
So, you know, when she got the call back, we were thriving together on the indies, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a question like, should you go back without? You had to go back. Because at the time, she was there. She was in WWE, but only had a little taste. Did some NXT stuff. Was on like Raw or SmackDown a couple times. So it wasn't really there. I'm like, you have to go back. You have to experience it. Now, look, the whole world knows how good she is. I go and support her. You know, I'm her biggest fan. You know, when she won the tag team titles, I was there. I couldn't be there for the U.S. title. I was wrestling. I was doing a GCW show in L.A. But, you know, when I'm watching, of course, I want to be there with her. Like, we barely see each other. Like, we saw each other last week
At the airport. Yes, I saw her tweet this.
Yes.
Is that legit? Right there?
That's it. Yeah, and I'll see her next Monday. Yeah, because she's in England doing stuff for Netflix right now.
Wow.
So then I have indie shows. I have the Hammerstein Ballroom. I'll come home Monday. She'll be there. So I love to be there with her. Whether we're on camera or not, I think we're better together. But I want to be there not just because she's there. Like, I want to be there because I belong there.
Right.
I know I belong there.
But we are human beings. You're a human
Sure.
being. And so I'm just wondering how you come to terms with your wife being where you want to be and you, I don't want to say can't be there.
I will admit, like, for instance, watching her at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting in like the press box or Money in the Bank and count. I'm sitting there watch. Of course, I'm super proud. But of course, parts of me like, I should be there. But not, I should be there and not her.
Right.
I should be there also.
Okay, so there's no jealousy.
No, 0%.
There's no resentment or anything
no
like
way.
that. Okay.
But
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
I don't know if a lot of people would be that way, to be
Also,
honest.
I've been there.
Right.
Been there, done that. Could be different if I was never there, But luckily I was, fortunately I was, and I'm so grateful for that time. So I'm able to support her. But of course, I want to be there as well. And so many guys and girls who leave WWE want to go back. But would they make a difference? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I truly believe I would. That's why I really do think I should go back.
Do you feel like your career, and I hate to put it this way, but I'm just curious if you feel this way, will feel incomplete if you don't get to end on your own terms?
No. And even when I got fired from WWE, I knew I was going to get fired because we got a little message from Vince McMahon, like a general like video saying this is right. The pandemic just started.
Yeah, April, right?
Yes, April 15th, 2020.
Wow.
Best day of my life.
Tax day.
So I'm in all these group texts with my friends, like, I'm getting fired. I'm like, oh God, like, when is it going to be me? Because the year prior, AEW was starting up, and WWE, I don't know if it was because of this. I think it was. They offered everyone brand new deals with a lot more money, and I didn't sign it because I didn't know if I wanted to stay or go. Because I'd been there for so long, ups and downs, roller coaster ride. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay. Ultimately, the decision was made for me a year later, when I got fired. But I knew I was getting fired because I got a text message from Talent Relations, please call us. Well, what am I calling for?
Right.
And this is going to sound cheesy, but I went right to this painting of my dad and I at WrestleMania 32. A fan, Rob Schamberg, made this great painting of a picture of us hugging. And I looked at that and I took the call and I smiled and got fired, looking at, because I knew everything was going to be okay. If it all ended that day, everything was fine. But it didn't end.
Right.
Because I knew that wasn't going to be, that might be the end of Zack Ryder, but it was the beginning of Matt Cardona.
A couple follow-ups. Do you regret not taking that deal that was offered a year prior?
Well, I might have got a little more money, but I probably would have got fired anyway.
Okay. So they could still fight, even if you had 2 years left. They could still...
Yeah. I don't regret it. I don't regret it one bit. I mean, I joke, I guess I would have gotten a little more money for that year, but I would have been on that list regardless, for sure.
Why do you think so?
Because my partner was, a bunch of guys in that kind of limbo spot were.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, you say you look at the painting, you take the call with a smile.
Yeah.
Do you not have a day or two of mourning?
No.
No.
I knew right away. Like, I already had my pro wrestling tee stores ready to go. Once that Vince McMahon message went, I said, it's coming today. So I had all my graphics ready. I said, let's go. Let's start this right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't lick your wounds. Didn't feel sorry for yourself.
Not one bit.
How's that possible?
Because I got to experience the highest of highs,
Right.
right? Like, yes, there were some bad times getting pushed off the stage in a wheelchair by Kane, which, by the way, made the USA Greatest Moments of Raw. So
Yes.
I'm proud of that.
Congrats.
But I mean, look, childhood dream to be a WWE superstar. I did it. I had the action figures. I wrestled at MSG, won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Like, I did everything I ever wanted to do. So I can't, have anything but like good feelings about that.
So what motivates you now? So if you did it, you reached the mountaintop, right?
Yeah.
Why do you hustle the way in which you do? Because I feel like you hustle more than anyone on the indie
I feel
scene,
like
right?
I do as well.
Yes, because
Yeah.
you don't. Your mentality is, I'm not just showing up to wrestle. I'm showing up for a meet and greet,
Sure.
for a signing, for
Yes.
merch. You
Yes.
set your table up.
Right.
You do everything and then some, and then you promote it and you post stuff on social media. I see you were in Maine last night. You're
Yes,
doing this.
yes, yes.
So what drives you to do all of that when you've actually reached the mountaintop
So
already?
when I first got fired, I knew my mentality could not be, what can I do to get back there? Or what can I do to get to AEW? It couldn't be that. I needed to work on reinventing myself. And again, I keep saying it, proving myself right, not people wrong. And I feel like I've done that. It's 5 years. But I feel like now is the time, AEW or WWE. I've done it all in the indies and more than once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been all over the world. won all these, if you want to count titles, you know, if you want to count accolades, independent wrestler of the year 3 times in a row, cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the only independent wrestler to ever do it. Like, I've done all that stuff. Am I going to be on the cover again? Am I going to win the NWA World title again? Am I going to win the GCW World title again? Like, I did it all. It's time to go to one of the main companies for sure.
Do you think that people thought Zack Ryder, because that's what you were known as when you were released, would just kind of like, you know, mid-card guy who would fizzle off?
Yes, 100%.
They had no hope for you.
No hope.
You'd be one of the million who have been cut.
Maybe change my name to different spelling, do the same thing, honky tonk man style. Yes, 100%.
You felt that and you wanted to prove everyone in this regard wrong. I know prove yourself right, but like there had to have been a chip on your shoulder, right?
There was more motivation, not so much a chip on my shoulder, because I knew I could do more. I knew I wasn't finished. And it took a while to figure out who I was. I didn't know who I was, right? Even so, I get fired, it's the pandemic. There are no independents. I literally can't work anywhere. AEW, did some with AEW, a cup of coffee there, it didn't work out. Now what, you know? There was nowhere to go. Luckily, Impact Wrestling, they picked me up. I went there, I got my feet wet there, got comfortable there in my own skin. But I'm just Matt Cardona. Who is Matt Cardona? I didn't even know. I didn't know. And I was doing independent. The world opened up. I'm doing independence, but I'm still like, okay, so I'm not doing the woo-woo-woo. But what makes Matt Cardona different than Zack Ryder, right? And I got this call to do this death match in GCW. And by death match, for those who don't know, this is glass pizza cutters.
Legit.
Like legit. It's a death match.
Yeah.
And it was against Nick Gage, who had just been on the show Dark Side of the Ring for almost killing David Arquette. And my knee-jerk reaction was, no way. I'm not wrestling this. This guy's in jail, drug. No way I'm wrestling this guy in a death match. I took a step back. I said, everyone's going to want to watch this. This is exactly what I need to do. And I did the match, and it trended because now with social media and the internet and streaming, it trended #1 over the UFC and Olympics that night. An independent wrestling show in Atlantic City, New Jersey, because everyone wanted to see Zack Ryder get carved up by Nick Gage. Then I end up winning, right? I win the match, and I did not anticipate how much buzz it was going to create. I did not anticipate that it would change my career and change my life, and it truly has. That night, everything changed from that match.
Why?
Because now I go to these indie shows, and it's not like, oh, that's Zack Ryder. It's like a couple, maybe 25%, like, I don't like this guy. Next, then people are seeing that. Then the next week, and more people hating me. A couple months later, I'm getting booed out of buildings, middle fingers in my face, and I absolutely loved it.
Why were you the heel? Why were you the heel?
I was just doing Matt Cardona in GCW, and they didn't want that. They didn't want a WWE guy there. I had good gear. I worked out. I took my diet seriously. I'm walking into this place. They didn't respect me. They didn't want me. But the hatred that they had for me, it spread. And it spread everywhere I went. And like, this is what I need. This is what Matt Cardona needed, just to be the asshole. Just to be the guy that I kind of wanted to be in WWE at the end, but you don't create your own story. You can pitch stuff all day. Right. I always wanted to turn heel. You don't get that opportunity in WWE all the time. A lot of my ideas did work. Some didn't. Some did. That it is what it is. But on the independents, I control everything. So like, I essentially turned heel, and it worked.
The footage is completely gruesome.
We can't play that.
Yes, I'm just wondering, like, what was the worst injury? Like, there was stuff in your back, right? Wasn't there glass in your back?
Believe it or not, GCW doesn't have a medical team.
Oh, wow, shocker! Yeah.
So I go through glass, pizza cutter, light tubes. Now I'm covered in blood, and I knew I was gonna bleed. I anticipated it, so I wore like all white gear. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be cool. I have a couple trickles of blood. My white shirt was maroon. It was covered in blood. I get to the back. There was this nurse back there cleaning up my back, taking out the glass. She did like this Frankenstein stitch job on my back, told me, don't worry, it's dissolvable. They were not dissolvable. Oh, no. They got infected. There was still glass in there. A month or so later, there was glass like coming out of my back. I had to get it removed. I literally have the battle scars right now, but I wouldn't change anything. Like, it was the greatest night in my career besides that Intercontinental title ladder match. Yeah. And really, depending on what day you talk to me, they go back and forth.
Do you think that you are this successful if not for that match?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I think GCW put Matt Cardona on the map. I, in turn, also think Matt Cardona put GCW on the map. Because now look at all the top guys who want to come to GCW. Guys like Jon Moxley, Jeff Jarrett, Nick Nemeth, JBL, Chris Jericho was just there, Bully Ray. They weren't coming there before Matt Cardona made it cool.
Right.
You know, GCW is the place to be. If someone leaves WWE or AEW, GCW right away. That wasn't always the case.
Who owns GCW?
Brett Lauderdale.
One guy?
One guy. He's a one man. I don't know how he does it. You know, he does he'll send you your flight the day before. He'll send you your hotel the day of. But he works around the clock. He busts his ass. Even for this Hammerstein show coming up, he was outside all the AEW shows handing out flyers.
Wow.
You know, promoting. You know, the man on the street.
Hustling.
So, you know, say what you want about him, but he's a hard-working motherfucker.
And just to show for the audience how much of a hustler you are, and I say that in the most like kind way.
Yes.
I read and I heard you speak that afterwards you cut up your T-shirt, right?
Oh my God!
And sold it and made like 20,000, like putting it in plaques.
So I'm a fan at heart, right? So I had this shirt, and I'm like, what can I do with this? What am I here like put it on eBay or put
covered
it
in blood,
covered in
like
blood,
drenched.
So I remembered as a kid, you know, the WrestleMania plaques,
yes,
piece of the canvas, a nice 8x10 a signature. I contacted that company, the same exact company. I explained what I wanted. Can we do this? I think we made like 250, a little piece of the bloody shirt. And I let them know it's blood, wear gloves, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I made 20 grand on that. And then since then, I think there's 5 different action figures based off that match. So that's even more money coming in just from the one match.
So you get to do all this. You get to pick your schedule. You get to turn heel if you want to.
Yes.
You're really your own head writer, right?
Exactly.
No one's telling you what to do, what to say, where to be.
No.
Is there a part of you that thinks if you get the call, you're not able to make these decisions?
100%. Like right now, I know exactly. If I want to do your show, I'm doing your show.
Yeah.
If I don't want to do your show, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I make my schedule, which is when I was in WWE, I got signed when I was 20 years old. Right. So like that's all I knew my whole life. Like you have to be here. Okay, I'm there.
Yeah.
This is your flight. Okay. Wait, I can choose what flight I want.
Yeah.
I can choose to be off this week. I wasn't used to that. And not saying I was handcuffed, which is that's just what I knew for 15 years, my whole adult life. So I love making my own schedule. I love saying yes or no to things. I love, you know what? I'm going to take a weekend off. I'm going to go to Disneyland. You know, stuff I wasn't able to do. And I see it now with Chelsea, my wife. Like she gets called in last minute to go here or called in last minute to not go there. I'm like, I don't miss that.
Yeah.
But it comes to the territory, you know?
So you're okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I wonder, obviously the best movie ever made on this world was The Wrestler,
Yes.
right? I wonder just if you ever have moments where you're sitting in a place that is the antithesis of Madison Square Garden. I've heard you reference, actually, you do this in a lot of interviews, by the way. I like to consume.
Yes.
You always reference the Ukrainian
Cultural Center, Los Angeles.
You always reference that, by the way. Do you have moments when you're sitting in the Ukrainian Cultural Center? I hope it's still standing.
It's still standing.
Good to hear. Where you're like, what?
Okay.
How did I end up here?
Let's go back to the Ukrainian Cultural Center.
Okay.
Let's put a pin in that. So there are certainly this weekend was a great weekend. Columbus, Ohio did GCW. Last night, Limitless in Maine made a lot of money on merch. Had great matches. Like this is a weekend. You know what? I love being an indie wrestler. I love it. There are certainly weekends where I'm like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I hate this. I'm a failure. Of course, you take the good with the bad. And back to the Ukrainian Cultural Center, the atmosphere in that, I don't want to say arena,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? Like those fans are diehards. I've had some of my greatest like indie moments in there. The locker room is a legit alley. If you're coming to park, you'll see us all changing through the fence.
Wow.
It's an alley. So if it's cold, we were just there in December, freezing cold. We're out there changing. You know, if you want to see Matt Cardona taking a piss between 2 dumpsters, just park next to the Ukrainian Cultural Center. You'll see it.
Wow. That is, and like your ego can handle this?
It can, yes. There are certainly times, like I said, like when I just did AEW for a couple weeks. I'm like, oh my God, wait, I can take a shower after my match? There's a locker room? Wait, there's catering? Like, I almost like forgot that I was in WWE and forgot I was in that environment for so long. I've just like dove headfirst in this indie world where even the AEW shows I did, I'm like, oh my God, like a real arena. Like, this is great.
Yes.
You know, so I certainly miss stuff like that, 100%. I don't like not showering after my matches.
Sure.
Especially Ukrainian Cultural Center. I'm usually taking a red eye to East Coast to another show. I'm going coast to coast, no shower.
Come on.
Yeah, no shower.
Where? Not in the airport or something?
So if I fly American, I get into the American lounge, has a shower. Yeah. There's one time I did the show in LA, right? Then I had to go to Philly for a convention. And it was in the ECW arena. And they were also having a match tonight. So I flew to LA, from LA to Philly, no shower. Did the convention, met all these fans with no shower. I'm like, oh, I'll just shower in between before the show. There was no shower at the ECW arena. So I did the LA show, no shower. The convention,
No.
meet and greet, no shower. Then had the match, no shower. Finally showered that night in Philly. It was like,
How
you should have saw
gross.
what's coming off my body.
Okay, can I ask you? I mean, I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Book a hotel just to take the shower.
I could have
book $100
I didn't
hotel.
have enough time in between.
No?
It was right into it. I didn't have enough time. I would have. Yes, I would have.
You're not that cheap, are you?
No, I'm not.
I don't know if I could sit on the plane for 5 hours without showering.
Well, usually, if it's a red eye,
it's even worse,
And that
of
show is
course.
8 p.m. And then these indie shows go 4 or 5 hours. Even if I tell Brett from GC, hey, you got to put me on first so I can get out of there, I'm still cutting it close. No time to shower at a hotel.
So that movie, for those that have seen it,
Yeah.
how similar is it to the life that?
I think it was very authentic to the time. I think things have changed a bit.
Okay.
Because now with social media and these streaming things, you're not just doing a show in front of whatever, 200, 500, 5,000. The whole world can potentially see it. So it's not as bad as they made it seem, because you can make real money if you're hustling. You could become a star if you're hustling. You can make a name for yourself if you're hustling.
Right.
If you're just going and phoning it in, you're not going to make money. You're going to be nothing, But if you put in the work, the money's there, the opportunities are there. There's more wrestling shows than ever. Wrestling is so hot right now. AEW, WWE, TNA. It's on television or streaming every single night of the week. There's independent wrestling shows all over the world every weekend. Like, there is no shortage of work. If you work your ass off, you will get paid. You will get money. And it might not be a lot of money, but crumbs make crumb cake. Go sell a t-shirt.
Sure.
Go sell an action figure. Go sell a sticker, an autograph, whatever. It all adds up.
So that's the thing that blows me away about you and impresses me. On most of these cards, you're the biggest star, right? And
Most of the time.
And you're the guy sitting there selling, and you have no ego when it comes to this.
None. So this happened last night. Limitless Wrestling. It was myself, Smart Mark Sterling, who works for AEW. He's the producer of the Major Wrestling Favorite podcast with us. It was us and 2 other guys selling merch before the show. I'm thinking, I'm the guy who doesn't need this money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? Why aren't you selling the merch? In my opinion, the merch table is more important than the match. Yes, to make the money, but to make the connection with the audience.
Yeah.
It's all about the connection. I'm not saying don't have a good match, but if the fans aren't invested in you, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
So why do you think these guys don't do it, some of them?
I think they're just so focused on having this good match.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not saying have a bad match, but you need to make this connection. And then some people are like, oh, I'm a heel. I can't go out there. I'm the ultimate heel.
Yeah, who
I'm
cares?
out there. It's 2025.
Yeah.
People know the deal. But if you could go out there and be a heel and be a dick and make them hate you, so when you go out, you get booed. Just be out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Either to make money or make a connection one way or the other.
How much stuff are you traveling with? Like when
We
you
got a lot of stuff. I got a whole gimmick bag of stuff.
Really?
We have our own toys, foam fingers, sticker. You name it. I have paper crowns. I'm the Deathmatch King. I have
you
it
do
all.
this all by yourself?
All by myself.
Damn, man.
Yeah, I got the fanny pack full of cash, taking the money. The credit card reader. I got it all.
Oh my goodness.
And I love it. Because I'm a fan at heart. You know what I'm saying? I was the guy at an autograph signing. I was on the other side of the table meeting my favorites. So now it's cool to, when someone comes up and tells me, I can tell when someone is there and they're invested and they're so happy to be there, or when they're nervous. And I relate to that. I love it.
Do you watch the other products, the AEW?
I watch
WWE?
everything. 100%,
Everything.
Everything.
You don't
have
miss it.
to.
Why do you have to?
Because you need to know what everyone else is doing. You need to be one step ahead of everybody.
What's your favorite thing right now in
I
wrestling?
think right now, my favorite thing, how could you deny WWE on Netflix is not the biggest deal ever?
Right. Did you watch on Monday?
I did.
And what was that like for you to
Of course, I wish I was there. I wish I was a part of it, but I had to. Whether I was a little angry about it or not, that I wasn't there. I had to watch. Yeah, this is okay.
Huge.
This is how wrestling is going.
Right.
This is historic. You have to watch it. And the fan in me wanted to watch it too.
What do you think of The Rock's promo?
I think this was more to get the general audience involved. I saw the complaints online that he kind of went against everything with Cody, but I think this was to get everybody. What is WWE? Okay, they've been watching Netflix. They've had this graphic for the whole week. What is this? Let me tune in. So I think it was a great way to introduce the product to everybody.
Okay, so you didn't think it was sacrilegious that they broke the fourth wall?
And The Rock even said the next day he's 20 steps ahead or whatever. He said something like that. So
yeah, he did a great job.
I'm sure there's a plan.
The Hogan booing. Were you surprised?
Listen, Hogan was my guy as a kid. Obviously, I do not condone the stuff that he's done, and he got booed out of the place. So it's been all over social media, right?
Do you think they use him again?
I think they will. But
Yeah.
Maybe take a couple weeks off.
Who headlines WrestleMania in your opinion?
It's got to be Cody, right? I mean, he's the
Versus?
guy.
That's the question.
Man, I would have said Cody Rock, but now after that promo, I'm not sure. Does Cena win the Rumble? Is it Cody? I just love that there's so many possibilities. As a fan, there's so many. Does Matt Cardona come back? Screw my friend over? It's possible, right? Anything could happen.
Is it happening? Are there any talks? But it's such a no-brainer.
I mean, the story writes itself.
Has there ever been a time where you thought it's happening? Was there ever any talks where it was like, I think it might be happening?
No, because I've never.
Where they sent out a feeler.
There's been communication, but no offer in any way. You know, and listen, every year I've had gear ready for the Royal Rumble. Every year,
make it. You make it for the Rumble.
I always have it just in case.
Wow,
you never know.
Did you make for this year?
I have it just in case. Well, I've had it from the past couple.
Sure. Okay, yeah. And it still fits?
It still fits.
Yes.
I've gotten bigger, but not that much bigger.
What are you doing February 1st?
I will be there for WrestleCon.
Oh,
your Dusty Rhodes.
You're going to be in town.
I'll be there anyway.
Oh, my God.
And I'll probably have the gear because I'm always ready.
If they call you and say you come back, but it has to be a Zack Ryder, how do you feel about that?
I think everybody wants Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder. I'm so grateful and proud of what I did and accomplished with Zack Ryder. I mean, with Z True Long Island Story, the YouTube show I started in 2011, like we could talk hours just talk about that. That's probably one of the things I'm most proud of my career. Like the company saw me a certain way. I said, well, that's not how I see myself. And I'm going to get over. And I was one of the first people on social media, started the YouTube, one of the first wrestlers because I was a kid at the time. I was 25. Like my friends were on Facebook. Instagram wasn't even out yet. You know, Twitter just started. Like, I was like, if I can blend Matt Cardona, the person, with Zack Ryder, the character, I can relate with the audience because they just see me as the guy who loses in 3 minutes and does woo, woo, woo.
Right.
I'm a fan just like them. I like Star Wars. I like Ghostbusters. You know, like my girlfriend just broke up with me. You know, my dad's annoying. My friends I let them in on all that. And that's what won them over. Without the fans, I would have been released from WWE 2012, 2013. They built Zack Ryder and the fans built Matt Cardona post WWE. So I almost feel like it might sound cheesy, but I got to go back for the fans. I think they deserve it. I've earned the opportunity, but they deserve it.
Wow. Who came up with Zack Ryder?
So Brian Myers and I, we started wrestling school together, NYWC, Long Island, New York, 2003, and we hated each other. Legit. Because we're 18 years old. We kind of look the same build. We're each other's competition, right? But then they put us together as a tag team. Like, I don't want to team with this guy. I don't want to be in a tag team. And then somehow we found out we both collected wrestling figures. Oh
my God, that's amazing.
And it broke the ice. And you know, he's been my ride or die, you know, my road wife for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but the name, who came up with?
So when we get to WWE or their developmental system at the time, they put us together. They call us the Major Brothers. I was Brett Major. He was Brian Major. Because I was Brett Matthews on the Indies. He was Brian Myers, his real name. So we're the Major Brothers. We get to WWE. We're the Major Brothers. It's not working. It's not clicking. And we knew that because we knew we wanted to be like this 80s throwback tag team that was so annoying that we'd get booed. But they used this as a babyface. I'm like, this isn't going to work in 2007. And it didn't. It just didn't work. So we had this idea to be with Edge, to be like his little minions. You remember the show Entourage?
Yeah.
Like that was a big show at the time, and we loved watching it. We wanted him, Edge, to be like the Vinny Chase, and we'd be his little entourage. And we pitched it to Adam, to Edge, and he loved it. And he ran with it. And he didn't need us. We were these two guys sitting in catering. But he brought us under his wing, and we debuted with him. We helped him win the World Heavyweight title as his Edge heads. And then the next day or 2 days later at the production meeting, Vince McMahon realized we weren't really brothers. It's like, oh, we got to call them their real names, but not their real names. They're fake real names.
Right.
So we had hours to come up with names. Zach is from Zach Morris.
Oh,
and
wow.
I don't even agree. We made a bunch of first names and a bunch of last names and put them together. What would pass through legal? I don't even know where Ryder came from, but that's where the Zach came from.
You were a big Saved by the Bell guy.
Big Saved by the Bell guy.
Wow.
Huge.
Saturday mornings.
Have you ever
met him?
I've never met Mark Paul Gosselaar. Met Mr. Belding, met Mario Lopez, but never met Mark Paul. So Mark Paul, if you're watching, I'd love to meet you.
Fortunately, Screech.
Yes,
no longer.
We never met him either.
Yeah. I think he was a wrestling, or did he do like celebrity boxing or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so it's probably for the best because if they would have, maybe not. If they would have called you Matt Cardona, you could still use that name because it's your name, right? They can't trademark your own name.
Right.
And so why? Okay, so you mentioned AEW.
Yeah.
What's the story there? How is it possible? Why did they bring you in? You smash it? What, like you had like 3 matches for them or something?
So in the very beginning, I came in. I helped Cody. We had a tag match, which we won, a pay-per-view match. I had like 3 shirts, 2 matches. Never got a call.
What's the story there?
I don't know. To this day, I don't know.
You don't ask someone like, yo, what's up?
Of course I was like, I was told the contract's coming. It never, after a while, I'm like, it's not coming. So that's when I went to Impact. A few years later, I got the call to wrestle Adam Copeland, my absolute dream match. He is my guy. Not only because of the edge, he was the guy I looked up to growing up. We had that one match. I thought we killed it. Nothing. Okay, fine. I'll keep doing my indie thing. A month or so ago, I got called, hey, do you want to wrestle Chris Jericho at Hammerstead Bolton? Hell yes, I do.
Ring of Honor, right?
A Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Another guy I grew up idolizing. We do the weeks of TV, getting great reactions in-house, social media, best-selling shirt of the week, killer match at Hammerstein Ballroom. Nothing.
When you're back there, you don't talk to Tony or any of the agents to be like, yo, what's the story here, guys?
I'm just going week by week. Yeah, that's how I live my life. I'm going week, but I can't. There's so much going on in my head. I can't think, a couple sets ahead about like, what am I going to do next weekend? Like, I need to make every single instance the best possible thing, and that's just where my focus lies, on that particular thing. And even Dave Meltzer reported I got a contract.
No way.
Sorry, Dave, you're wrong. I didn't get one.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't. Hey, maybe I got lost in the mail. I don't know.
Would you like a contract with them? Would you be open to it?
Of course. I mean, I love my time there. Even this past time in December, I love it there. I think it's a great company. I think it's great for the business. I think everybody's working their ass off there. But everything has to be the right situation. But I wasn't offered anything.
Some of the AEW fans think that I hate AEW, that I root against them. It's the most bizarre thing because I've never said anything negative really about the product other than saying I wasn't a huge fan of my interview with Tony. I thought, and maybe that was my fault too. Sure. Maybe I did a bad job on that day. But I think it's so healthy and good for the business for a competitor.
It's the number one. Like I said, I was in WWE. They offered everyone all this money just because AEW started. I can't prove that, but I mean, come on, just do the math.
Yeah,
it's so.
But
great
it also, I think, it raises WWE's game.
100%.
Right?
And the jobs it's created for so many wrestlers, and not just wrestlers, people who work in the business, producers,
yes.
People who make the gear, everybody, the doctors, the trainers, everybody, production. It's done great things for the business. Anyone who's rooting against AEW or WWE or anybody, it's like, are you really a wrestling fan? I question if you are.
So then why is it so tribal? Why is there so much like hatred online?
I'll
and
never
toxicity?
understand. I see it. Trust me, I see it.
It's crazy.
I don't support it one bit.
Why do you think it is? Is it just like my team's better than your team? That type of stuff?
I'm sure you see some hateful stuff on social media.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes.
What's wrong with these people?
I don't know. Because like to your point, if you're a wrestling fan, watch it all. Enjoy it all. Sure, there might be gimmicks or stories or matches or guys you don't like, but I don't understand this whole like venom towards one organization or the other.
I can totally understand liking one over the other, but like you said, I don't like the venom, just the hatred. Like there's wrestling every single night of the week. Like there's merchandise everywhere. There's toys everywhere. No matter how deep you are into wrestling, it's there for you. It's at your fingertips, literally. Like, what's there to hate about?
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
The other one I don't get also is Scott D'Amore. I love Scott. He revitalized TNA.
Totally did, yeah.
And then they got rid of him.
Listen, I wasn't there for that. I don't know exactly what happened. I love Scott. I love working for Scott. I was just texting him this morning about espresso martinis.
Really? Yeah. What? You like him?
I love him.
In the morning?
No.
Okay.
No. He was in Orlando, but I was in Maine, so I couldn't meet him.
Okay, got it.
But I love Scott.
Any chance we see you Maple Leaf?
Well, he's been texting me for some dates, so we'll see. I like to work there. I was pleasantly surprised by their first shows.
Mauro Ranallo on the mic. He's a legend. It looked great, right?
Listen, I wasn't expecting like the worst thing ever, but I was not how good it was. I was blown away.
Yes.
He did a great job.
He's a great mind.
Yes.
You're a great mind. You have great fans. And in fact, I saw via your social media, one of your fans, is this legit? Is this a shoot?
Okay, let me hear it.
Wants to smell your farts? Is this true? What is going on here? You posted an email.
It was the most...
Here it is. Good morning, Mr. Cardona. This has taken me 7 years for me to say. This has taken a lot of courage for me to say, sir. I always love the usage of sir throughout this message. But my name is Will. I'm a 26-year-old bodybuilder from Tampa, Florida. I've spent 7 years watching your content. It's very motivating and inspiring, but I just wanted to say I really want to worship your muscles and smell your farts. Sir, I've thought about your farts every hour of every day for 7 years. I think about what they smell like and what they sound like constantly, Matt. Even when I was in college, I graduated, but I had time to study focusing because I kept thinking about your farts. On and on it goes about your farts.
First of all, you didn't stutter. I'm very impressed with that. That was
I was
great.
going fast.
You're
yeah.
a pro. Listen, I got that email. It was so ridiculous. I had to just post it. I'm
Legit,
like,
you think?
you never know. Listen, I do this show every Monday. Well, not today because I'm here, but it's called Whatnot. It's like a live auction thing. And last week I was doing it, right? Because I'm selling like my figures, ring-worn stuff, whatever. And someone kept saying, sell your underwear, sell your underwear. I'm like, sell my underwear? I'm like, all right, well, I looked down. I actually like the underwear I was wearing. I got it from Universal in Tokyo. I'm like, no, I want this. But I'm like, if I go upstairs, will you buy it for $200? I brought it down. They bought it, $200 for my underwear. Yeah. Something I bought at Target. Worn.
These
washed, but
fans.
Hey.
Do you write back to this person?
I did not write back to that person. No, I did not.
What do you think? Do you think it was real?
Honestly, 50-50. Yeah.
By the way, if that guy is being serious and he sees you post the message, do you think he's now embarrassed?
Maybe not. You know, I mean, we know his name's Will, right?
Yeah.
No last name though. So
sure.
Yeah.
If someone came up to you at a show and said this to you, what would you say? No, no thanks.
Well, how do you sell someone a fart? Do you like fart in a jar? Like, what do you do?
Would you consider? Because I feel like
100% would. Yeah. 100%. I sold the underwear and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of weird stuff like this?
I mean, that every once in a while I get something weird. That's the weirdest, the most weird I've ever got. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Prior to your wife,
Yeah.
did you never date a pro wrestler?
I dated one, didn't work out. And I told myself, I'm never dating a pro wrestler again. And then it was actually Cody and Brandy Rhodes.
Right.
They introduced us. They were doing TNA at the time, which was down in, they were filming Universal in Orlando. I live in Orlando. I was there with I just tore my patella tendon. I was there eating dinner with them, and Brandy's like, oh, there's this girl, Chelsea. She keeps complaining about being single. I'm like, don't tell her about me.
No thanks. Why?
We went on because I just didn't want to date someone in the business again. For so long, I went without doing it. I dated someone in the business. Well, that's why you don't do it, right? And then we go on one date. Then we're texting each other, calling each other, going on another date. Next thing you know, her toothbrush is there. Next thing you know, we're married. We got 3 dogs, 3 cats. I mean, it worked out in this situation.
And so here you are, and I'm assuming you can sometimes go to her shows. Can she ever go to your shows?
Like as a fan?
Yeah, like
100%. Yeah,
she comes to those.
Yeah,
she could be seen at some of these indie shows.
I think so. I've never. So the only show I don't like to go to her shows because I don't want to linger backstage at WWE.
You don't want to be that guy.
Absolutely not. So when she won the tag team titles, John Cohn, who works for talent relations there, I hope I don't get him in trouble. He's a friend of mine. I texted him. I said, "Let me know the segment before, sneak me in so I can watch from the crowd and get me out of there." I don't want to be the guy. Listen, I was there for 15 years. I saw all the old timers coming back, lingering, trying to get their job back. And I don't want anyone thinking that's what he's doing there. So I never want to be seen backstage. Every time I go see Chelsea, I'm in like a press box upstairs, away from everything. It's not about me. I don't want the attention. I don't want to be, politicking. I don't want people thinking I'm politicking. I just want to be there to support her.
What about the symbolism of her winning the U.S. title at freaking Nassau Coliseum where you grew up, right? Wearing
the one-legged tights, the Zack Ryder style.
Wow.
We are the first, couple to win the United States title. I mean, she's the first champion, but I was the U.S. champion. Listen, super proud of her. My family was there rooting her on.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was, like I said, I was doing GCW in L.A., so I couldn't be there. But she flew to L.A. the next day. We went to Disneyland and celebrated. But it was great to, I don't know the word to use, but beautiful that she won the title in my hometown arena.
Why is the product so much better now than it was a couple of years ago?
I think it's just so hot. I think the fans, they've been just wanting a change, and they can see it on the TV, and they support it even more. And now with social media and all it all comes, it's everything, right? Like the shows are better. There's more merchandise so people can show their fandom, it's cool to be a wrestling fan again. And I just love it. Why?
I have a theory.
Okay.
I mean, Triple H is what? Late 40s, early 50s? Something like that?
He knows what he's doing. It's obvious.
Comparing him to a guy in his mid-70s, he's on the ball. He knows
he's on the ball.
Right?
He's definitely
There's
on the
a
ball.
drastic difference between him at the helm and Vince at the helm.
I've never worked. I was only there under the Vince. Triple H, of course, had power, but it's obvious, like you said, watching the product. It's fun. There's callbacks. There's reasons for things. Things don't get forgotten. The fans want to be rewarded for watching. So if something's like, oh, that happened a couple weeks ago, now they're bringing it back. They love that stuff. They love watching. You see someone in the background during a pre-tape.
Brilliant. The Bloodline thing has been brilliant.
It's been great.
I don't think it can happen in the Vince era, the Bloodline story. with that many details and
There's
intricacies.
so many swerves, and you never know where they're going. That's what makes wrestling fun, right?
Is it done, the Bloodline story, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I mean, The Rock, now, is he a good guy now? Like, what side is he on? Like, and there's more guys that haven't even come up to the main roster yet. I think it continues forever.
Did you ever have a relationship, a working relationship in any way, shape, or form with Heyman?
Not really. No.
How come?
So he was there when I was there, but he was just like, Brock's advocate.
Okay.
When I did the WWE, ECW, who was already gone. So it was never. Of course, I've talked to the man. Of course, I respect him. I grew up, loving ECW, of course, but I was never, had a close relationship with him.
Okay.
Paul, if you want to talk.
Yeah, Paul's the man.
I love you, Paul. Yeah, let's do it.
Can I tell you, I got to be really backstage once.
Okay.
In Montreal Elimination Chamber. This was Sami Zayn against Roman Reigns a couple years ago when he was red hot. He just turned on Roman.
Yeah.
And they invited me to come. I'm from Montreal.
Sure.
The city means a lot. It felt like an event I wanted to be at. And Paul said I can come. Heyman said, "Oh, come backstage." I've always been fascinated with wrestling. Wrestling was the first thing I ever loved.
Right.
WWF was the first thing I loved as a 5-year-old, and I'd never been backstage really. And so he said, "Come backstage for SmackDown." And so I came, and someone like you, I came wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't know what's going on.
Right.
So Paul's sitting in Gorilla. I've heard about Gorilla, but I've never been to Gorilla. Here I am, like, wow, this is incredible. This is like story, right? And he says to me, and he's like, just stick with me and follow me throughout the night, and we'll see where this goes. One thing leads to the next. He says to Paul Levesque, Ariel's from Montreal. He's a big sports fan. He could put all this into context. You should throw him in the crowd. He'll do a segment for you. And then Michael Cole sends it to him, and he sends it back. And then 4 hours later, I'm on SmackDown.
So you were always ready.
I was always ready, like you. It was one of the most fun experiences of my life because the next day I came back and just got to observe. I didn't do anything, but just seeing how everything ran backstage.
It's crazy.
This was also the time where Tony Khan took a shot at me on social media and called me a hack journalist. And the best part about it was every worker came up to me and like, I felt like I was one of the boys. They were like, "Tony took a shot at you? Fuck yeah." I was like, wow, look at me. I made it. To see what goes on behind the scenes is like, it is a fantasy world. I loved it's so much fun. But I can imagine it being extremely stressful as well
100%.
Because your fate and your destiny is in the hands of others.
Also, in a live TV environment, I've been, in the ring, you got 2 minutes cut or you got 2 minutes added, or your match is cut.
How do you find out? The ref tells you?
The ref.
In the middle of the match?
Yes. So that happens all the time. Like, let's say you go to Raw, and it might be different now. I haven't been there in 5 years. Let's say you have an 8-minute match. Okay, well, how much time am I going to have when it's up to the match? Because things go over. It's live TV. Might be different now with Netflix. I'm not sure. So things might be a little different now.
But have you ever had a situation where you felt like you were going this way, and then it all gets taken away from you? Meaning...
Like storyline wise?
Yeah, like you just felt like... Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's all and it's no fault of your own, but it's just the business, the politics of wrestling.
So bringing up that YouTube show, I start that particular year, 2011. I'm a nobody. I'm literally like on Raw, already in the ring, getting killed by somebody. I start the YouTube show in February. End of the year, Madison Square Garden is chanting for me during a Rock promo.
Oh yeah.
I end the year as the United States champion. Like I'm one of the top merch. It's working. I'm clicking on all cylinders. A couple of months later, like Kane is pushing me off the stage in a wheelchair. And like literally all my hard work was going down the toilet. But I blame myself for that. I never wanted to say I got buried. And maybe during that time, if you look at old tweets, maybe pull it up, maybe I was saying stuff like that. But now I've matured. I've realized I should have just knocked on Vince McMahon's door and said, "Hey Vince, what are we doing here?" I didn't do that. So I blame myself.
Why didn't you do it?
Immaturity, intimidated, and maybe I was.
Was his door open? Like, could you knock, or is that frowned upon?
Certainly could have. You certainly could have. But I grew up idolizing this company and this man. So to me, he was super intimidating. Not only was he my boss, he's this guy like, your whole life you see this guy, you hear stories about this guy. So I think I probably 26, 27 at the time. I think I was immature. I think I was intimidated. But I blame myself for all of the things that went down at that time. Like I could have easily knocked on Vince's door. "Hey Vince, I've been working my ass off. One of the top 3 or 5 merch sellers. What are we doing here? Where's this going?"
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that, so I blame myself. I never wanted to be one of those old guys, bitter. So-and-so buried me. So-and-so held me down. F that. I want to take all the accountability.
When you've sort of come to see what has happened to Vince and all these stories coming out, your reaction to this?
Man, I mean, listen, obviously I didn't witness anything. And I saw the documentary. I've seen all the allegations. All the allegations are disturbing to say the least. So we'll see what happens, but like, oh my God, right? I mean, we've all read it. It's crazy, crazy stuff. And if proven true, then wow, right?
Well, what do you think of the doc?
I'm a diehard wrestling fan, so nothing seemed like new to me. And I get it. It wasn't for the diehards like me and you. It's for the casuals. I thought it was entertaining. I watched it. You know, how could you not if you're a wrestling fan?
Right.
You know?
How many years do you think you have left?
Well, you know, I'm in my 21st year in the business now.
Jeez Louise.
It's crazy. I started when I was 18. Had my first match 2004. But I don't feel like I've missed a beat. You know, like my style, I feel like I keep going forever. Right? I say that now. You know, I'm about to be 40. I feel like I haven't missed a beat in the ring. I feel like I can keep going. I feel like I look the best I've ever looked. I feel like I'm really at the top of my game. And now, like, you see guys like Jericho, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage at the top of their game, older than me, 10 years older than me. It's inspiring. Dustin Rhodes, even John Cena, The Rock, you know, like literally at the top of the game, haven't missed a beat, looking like $1 million. I love that opportunity is there, you know? And that's what's so beautiful about pro wrestling. I think like age is just a number. And like when you watch two guys on the screen, you're not thinking, well, this guy's this old. You know, like you're not thinking like that. You're thinking, I love this guy or I hate this guy.
Right.
So I would love the opportunity to go back to WWE and be the guy that people hate, you know, because they never have to see that.
It would be amazing because you get to come back as yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Obviously, you're maybe like a tuned up version of yourself. And I would highly suggest, you've done a ton of interviews, so I don't want to go through your whole story, but overcoming cancer in high school. And that's what gets you into wrestling, right? Just being out of school for a year?
No, so I love wrestling from...
Even before that?
Oh my God. Earliest memories loving wrestling. 1 year, my dad claims he took me to WrestleMania 2, which I don't think he did because I wouldn't have been one yet. But from that
That's
age,
the blue cage, Bundy versus Hogan.
I mean, it was Long Island, Nassau Coliseum.
Yes.
Obsessed my whole life. Obsessed. Like, whether it be with the wrestling figures or having the backyard wrestling, I was obsessed with wrestling. Unfortunately, I had cancer in 10th and 11th grade, and it sounds cliche, but I knew I had to, like, beat this. So I can't, like, be a pro wrestler if I'm dead. You know, I can't be a pro wrestler if they've, like, amputate my foot. Like, I have to beat this. And luckily I did. And it might sound cliche, but that's what kept me going, because that time going through the chemo, the surgeries, it sucked. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It sucked. But yeah, I've loved wrestling since I was a baby. Obsessed.
You've got to come back.
You said it.
You've got to come. You're so easy to root for, man. And I could think of so many great storylines there. And I think it's going to happen. We saw it with Drew. We saw it with Cody. You reinvent yourself. There's got to be there's going to be that opening. I feel it.
I feel like, you know, the timing has to be right. I'm 40 years old, almost 40. But like I said, age is just a number. Haven't missed a beat in the ring. Definitely got better in the ring since I was, you know, in WWE. I've learned so much as a performer, as a man. I feel like I truly understand this business, everything about it, the business side and the wrestling side, being on the independents. And like I said, I hate the word deserve. I don't think I deserve to be back, but I think I've worked my ass off, and I believe I've earned an opportunity. An opportunity. If I go out there and I shit the bed, get rid of me. If I go out there and nobody gives a damn, get rid of me. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, let's end on the toys again.
Okay.
Greatest LJN.
My favorite LJN is Macho Man, because, you know, he's like this.
Yeah, is it the pink tights?
Pink tights.
With the 3 stars on the back.
That's right.
Love that.
Because he can do the elbow drop, and he's also doing double by. And he can do a lefty elbow, righty elbow, depending on the side, you know?
Okay. And so, like, if I wanted to buy that, are they even
They're out there. Now, if you want to, like, in package,
impossible.
A lot of money.
Like, what are we talking?
You probably get a Macho Man. Well, do you want the package to be like mint?
I'm okay if it's like...
It's 500-ish. 500-ish.
Wow.
Now, but there's like some like, you're from Canada, so you had this whole like line, like the black cards. There was a whole line that just went to Canada.
What's black cards?
Bro.
We
can have a whole other conversation.
What are you talking about? What's
There's this whole last set that like, it's like just like a Canada thing or through magazines.
Of LJNs?
Of LJNs.
What do you mean through magazines?
Like through like wrestling magazines, like mail orders. So there's got like Warlord, Big Boss Man, all this.
Really?
Like, as a kid, I had no idea they existed because I wasn't reading.
Yes,
I didn't live in Canada.
Wow.
So it wasn't until like I got the internet or went to comic book stores, or like my grandma found me a Haku at a garage sale in 1992. I'm like, Haku? They made Haku? What? You know? So now with the big rubber guys, like so right now, you can go on our website right now, get a Macho Man. It'll be in your house. I'll send you a Macho Man.
No, listen.
Yeah, but like we do like a pre-order model where like the pre-order is the order. So like this month you have Arn, Tully, Missy, Rick Martel. However many are ordered, that's what we make.
Okay.
But then we have a couple guys like Macho Man. He's always in stock. We're doing a Ric Flair, always in stock. So if you're a new fan, new collector, you go to our site. You can get the Macho Man. He's at your house a couple days.
Flair doesn't have a Legends deal?
Flair does not have a Legends deal. You'd be
Wow.
surprised. Macho Man does not. Guys like Andre the Giant, Road Warrior, Sergeant Slaughter, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What
Because,
about
like,
Brett?
Brett does. We would love to make Brett. We would love to make
Anvil?
Brett. Anvil does too.
Does.
Yeah.
Those
so
are my guys.
anyone who doesn't have one, we try to get, And, we're paying them pretty well. So they like being working with the major company.
Yo, LJN, they used to sell them at the pharmacy next to my house.
Yeah.
I remember the rainbow logo, right? And
Yes.
those things, man, they were unbelievable.
It's honestly the
And
best.
this is I've never seen, I swear to God, I feel like I'm 8 just looking at this.
Well, that's the feeling we're going for.
You
right?
give this to Dustin?
Of course, we get Cody. Yes,
Cody, Dustin, yes.
We try to get Cody. We try to get Dustin, but he still has an AEW deal because we saw those rumors online. He wasn't re-signed. I'm like, I texted him, we want to get you, but he signed, and good for him. He should. He's having the time of his career there.
Okay, so Macho Man, what else? What is on the top?
Ooh,
There was one, who I loved? Okay, so I had a Bobby the Brain.
he's a great one.
I had a Miss Elizabeth.
Okay.
Did you have Miss?
Well, did you have the gold skirt or the purple skirt?
It was like sparkly.
Yeah.
God, how do you even know that? That's crazy. There was a Vince, right?
There's a Vince. Yep.
Hogan, there was one. Did he have like white tights?
There's a white tights where he's in the t-shirt.
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't love that one because I
Didn't
felt
love
like
that
he wasn't white tights guy.
No,
Only at the very beginning.
Yes, they repainted him later, so he's got the correct
Yes.
tights. Yeah.
Kamala, I think you
Kamala's
paid
great.
11,000 for a Kamala.
That's for a Hasbro Kamala. I did pay 11,000. I thought we were going to talk.
No, 11,000.
Yeah,
Why?
because it's an unreleased sample where like they changed the paint on his stomach, so it was like an alternate paint on his stomach, and there's only like
It wasn't the moon and all that.
it's the moon is the one that I have. The final production run is a star and not the moon.
Oh,
Yeah, it's called Moon Belly Kamala.
So how many are?
So I think there's like 12 or 24. I don't. That's the rumor number because it was only a sample production run.
Okay.
So I have one of those. Yeah.
I had a Hercules.
Hercules is great.
Man.
Yeah. I'll say we just signed Hercules to Big Rubber. I'll give you a little inside scoop. We signed him for Big Rubber Guys.
Wow.
Hercules, yeah.
So you go through his family.
Yep. Yeah.
Because he's no longer with us, right?
Family. Yeah.
Is it generally easy if they're not with WWE?
9 times out of 10, yes. When they get that first check, they want more figures.
They won't. Okay. So it's worthwhile for them.
Yes, for sure.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Man. So I just want to tell everyone, you've got the company that we're talking about. We showed the website. You got the podcast, Major Wrestling Figure Podcast.
Thank you.
You got so is it just that YouTube channel? Or you have another one as well.
I have my Matt Cardona YouTube channel, youtube.com/@the-Matt-Cardona. But the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast.
Major Pod merch,
Yeah. We had so much. We could plug it.
clothing, plug it all.
Plug
Pro
it all.
Wrestling Tees.
Really, GCW, Hammerstein Ballroom.
Ah, that's the one.
Yeah, New York City. I'm like,
There it is.
there it is.
Where are you
baby.
wrestling, by the way?
That's a great. This match has been snake bit. They're like legit. There's so many internal like planned matches that have gotten cut for different reasons. I legitimately do not know who.
Call
I'm
someone
wrestling.
out. Who do you want? Who do you want?
I want John Cena.
You want John? If Cena wins, we riot, right?
Well, last time when I was there, they had if Cardona wins, we riot. Last time we did GCW.
Yes.
I don't know who it's going to be. All I know is that I have spent a lot of money on my entrance.
You
a lot
legit
of money
right
on my
now don't know?
Not a
Shoot.
Shoot. I'm not bullshitting yet. Do not know.
When do you think you'll find out?
I think I'll find out that day. And
sick.
GCW, it's not like GCW's. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. There's been so many people put in that spot for one reason or another. They've gotten taken out of that spot. Let's see who it is. It doesn't
Because
matter.
AEW's not letting their guys go.
Well, that was maybe the
Ricky
one
Starks,
thing. With
right?
It was supposed to wrestle Ricky Starks. I don't know exactly what happened with that. I read all the rumors about it. He's no longer in the match. So we'll see who shows up Saturday.
Were you
Sunday,
at the
I'm sorry.
American Dream show?
I was there. Yep.
I was there the day before.
Yeah.
I was walking around with my kids and I see a GCW ring in the
It
middle.
was awesome.
Was it fun?
It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
It was like WCW. Were people into it?
they were so into it. Yeah.
Did you have to buy a ticket to sit there?
Yep. I think at the tippy top you can come in and watch, but there were certain seats, certain levels with seats. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This Sunday, Hammerstein Ballroom. I mean, there's still tickets available. Not many, but come see Matt
What does
Cardona.
it draw?
I think there's 1,500 people there. It looks bigger than it really is. I think there's only 1,500 tickets.
And are you the main?
I'm not the main.
Who's the main?
Mance Warner will be defending his GCW world title against either Ali or Effie. Who's it going to be? In my heart, I'm the main event.
Okay.
You know, my parents are certainly coming to see me. But I'm the main event in my dad's mind, you know.
Josh Barnett?
Josh Barnett
He's on that
he's
too.
another open challenge too. Maybe we accept each other's
Wow.
open challenge.
Have you ever wrestled, Josh?
I have not. We've been talking about it. Matt Cardona Bloodsport debut. What do you think?
I would love that.
I think I would love it
Bloodsport.
too, but I would need some proper MMA training. I wouldn't want to make a mockery of myself or MMA. I'd want to take it very, very seriously. Josh and I have talked about it. I think sometime in 2025 you'll see that.
You've got Whatnot live auctions. You got the Cameo. Always Red Wine.
That was the thing for a while. I think right now I would just love if people went to my social media, that New York video, if they watched that and shared that. That's the number one thing I want to get across. Hammerstein Ballroom.
Brilliant. You did the thing where you walked to like MetLife.
That was my idea. Obviously, I'm like, I have this vision. I want to start in my backyard, go like pretend I'm doing my entrance like I did in the backyard wrestling. I want to go to Nassau Coliseum, MetLife, MSG, Hammerstein. We filmed it in one night. It was cold, but it came out like I teared up watching it.
It was brilliant.
It was great.
Yeah,
So.
there it is. There's Nassau Coliseum. And when I was watching it, I was like, did this guy do this all on his own? Or is UC and
I mean, financially, yes. Did I have help filming?
No.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Because I don't think most guys are doing this.
They're not.
And if I'm GCW, I'm like, holy shit, you're the best.
Well, they did ask for it for their YouTube channel. I said, no, I paid for this.
Yeah. Look at that shot right there.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
You make being a fan of wrestling fun.
Well, I'm a fan at heart. That's why it comes easy to me, right? Like at the end of the day, of course, I've been wrestling for 20 years, but I'm a fan. I'm someone who is living their dream. Like this is the only thing I ever wanted to do. There was no plan B. Like I'm going to be a pro wrestler, and I've lived all my dreams. Like, do I have some goals I haven't accomplished? Yes. WWE World Title. Yes, that is the tippy top. I feel like if you're in this business, that should be the tippy top.
Right.
But if it ended today, I am so grateful for everything I accomplished. Even being here right now, it's just to share like our fandom with each other is great, and just to spread that. But we have GCW this Sunday. I know we keep plugging it, but 2025 is going to start that way. Let's see where I am in 2025. AEW, WWE, TNA. Where's Josh Barnett?
Yes.
Are you going to manage me? Are we going to do something together?
Listen, there's been some talk of me managing Josh.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's why you're saying it, but if you look at my Twitter headline,
know that.
a fan made a picture back in like 2011 of me managing Josh. My gimmick was, well, it's kind of evolved poorly in a way. It's like I'm like the greedy Jew.
Okay,
So I'm holding like a bag of money, but I play this up.
Right,
Helwani knows my
right.
gimmick, and he's like a Russian.
Right.
And I'm his manager.
Sure.
And I actually had an idea. Well, I'll tell you about it later. But it's crazy that you brought that up. I just want to say.
Hey, well, or if you want a big rubber, we can make that happen. I know the guy who owns the company.
Bro, that's too much for me to handle. That's too much for me to handle. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Continued success. It's a lot of fun, and I feel like this is going to be a massive, massive year for you.
I appreciate it.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
this Sunday.
Thank you.
And people need to know this. You were in Maine. You could have went home, and you came here, right?
Well, I
really
respect you too
appreciate
much. I want to be here in studio. We could have done it on Zoom. It's way better this way, right?
I agree. I agree. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
It.
I appreciate you.
We'll take a quick break. Thanks for watching this video. Hey, before you go, do me a favor. Hit that sub button. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the little bell thingy as well. Leave us a nice comment or two. We appreciate you all very much.